Hey, Rand, how you doing? I think that, boy, I think you've got a really good trait as a designer, and that's you're very, very hard on yourself. And that's good. Every successful designer I know is very, very, very overly critical of their own work. So that's a really, really good characteristic. So and you've been showing that. I mean, not only in this class, but in other classes, the other classes we have had together too. So really, I just wanted to draw that to your attention. I think it's really, really healthy to be to be very, very hypercritical on your own work. Don't beat yourself up, but certainly, certainly always take another look with fresh eyes. Look at it the next day, and really, really try to look at it in different kind of settings so you can get a accurate depiction of what others might be seeing. Let's go ahead and jump to the work. Actually, let's go ahead and say, still some things on the fence about changing. Most importantly, I need to figure out whether I should change Rutherford's name to the lighter text color on the back. And I definitely think that. I think the front of the poster is just too dark. It's really, really dark. It almost indicates kind of a negative connotation based on the dark. It's almost ominous in a way. It's so dark. So definitely, you definitely want to work out that out. I think definitely. You may even consider doing something like taking that lighter blue and swapping it in for this darker blue, and then doing something with the type. I don't know. Work it out. Just I definitely think that the front of the poster is super dark. Um, Rutherford named later texted about to try to bring in color into the front. I also haven't had a critique on this version of the front, so I'm curious. Yes, absolutely. I'll talk about it. Works on shapes. We took against last time where that thing. Yeah, yeah. So I think the front of the poster looks a lot better. I do. I think that if there's one thing I would say, I think the Atomic Man is really, really big. It's just spanning the entire. It's spanning the entire, and it's almost bisecting the composition as well, in that it's almost placed in the center. I would activate some negative space here, Ren, and let me just get this down a little bit. It's so difficult because of that little. I should just turn my camera off. I won't have to do all this resizing. Okay, so I would reduce the size of this. This looks really cool at a smaller. This typeface does not lose any of its charm at smaller sizes. So this looks fantastic. So I'm saying maybe reduce this so it's not spanning the entire width of the poster. It's maybe a little smaller, allowing it to work some negative space in there. Now, of course, reducing the size of that is going to have to. It's going to dictate that you consider the placement of his name down here at the bottom of the poster. Now, I don't think this is a great typeface, and I don't think setting it in oblique or italic is the best presentation either. I think right now there's too much argument. There's a lot of arguing going on between these two. They're not playing well together. I mean, this has got some embellishments. This is somewhat of a decorative typeface. It's a beautiful typeface, no question, but it does have some visual attributes that demand attention, and this does too. So they're kind of fighting with each other. My recommendation is to set this in something like, not quite so decorative, maybe a Garamond or a Baskerville, and not setting it in italic. Now, if you reduce the size, maybe this would be something like this. Then you would have to figure out where that's going to go or how you're going to configure that. Just you know that, right? All right, so let's jump to the back of the poster. Anyways, I love the front of the poster. Let's jump to the back of the poster, and let's go ahead and see what we have here. All right, typography looks fantastic. It really does. This typesetting here is gorgeous. Really nice job. The typographic color is beautiful, which is really at times very, very difficult to get to dial the formula right when you're using reverse type. Especially, let me see something here. Okay, so using a sans serif there was a really good decision, because if you're going to reverse type, I say use a sans serif. Using a serif really can cause some problems where you have to track it out to decrease the typographic color, make sure those serifs aren't touching because it creates visual vibration with that reversed type, right? So you have to increase the kerning anyways on reverse type. I say just go ahead and jump to a sans serif. That way, you're really, really ensuring that the open kerning and open leading is going to affect the way the type reads. And I think this type reads very well. If anything, I mean, your kerning is beautiful. I'm sorry, your leading is beautiful. If anything, I would open the tracking a little. I think the tracking might be still might be a little bit tight. So I would open the tracking on that entire 3 paragraphs of body copy there. Okay, let's take a closer look. This is great. I love this technique. I use it quite often when in situations where a drop cap might not work, but you do need something to kind of introduce and welcome the viewer into the body copy. So this, you know, this was I think this was just such a good choice. This small caps, beautiful typesetting right there. Rags look pretty darn good. Oh, really nice job. Just gorgeous. Yes, really. I'm really, really impressed with the typesetting of these three paragraphs. That's beautiful. Like I said, my only peeve here is just opening that tracking a little bit. The layout itself, I think, again, it's very, very good, very inviting. I don't think I would change a thing here. Technically, that's a widow. Technically, that's a widow. I would jump this up, maybe try to jump it up here, or pop that Trinity down to the next line so it's Trinity College, so you don't have that line sitting there, that word sitting there alone. We see the same thing right here, where you can say technically what you could do is drop, well, the University of Manchester on one line right there, or you could take that of and drop that to the next line, so you have the University of Manchester on the last line. That would eliminate that widow. You know, I think that prize, I think Nobel Peace Prize is a term. And I think technically, I believe that P in prize should be capitalized. So it's not Nobel Peace, it's Nobel Peace Prize. So that P should be capitalized. Other than that, I just think we're looking fantastic here. Really, really nice work. So, all right, there you have it. If you have any questions or you would like me to provide any further clarification, one thing I just want to mention this, Rin, because this is still bugging me. I still find that this line right here, it's a little bit, I think it creates some visual stress. I think it creates this unusual spaces, negative spaces right here, because this isn't a parallel line. Right now it's still headed down. I mean, I would come down here like this, get that right here, and then just go straight parallel across there. So you don't have this kind of weird negative space where this side of the poster is the distance between the line and the bottom of the poster is less here than it is right here. And I think that creates a little tension that I would recommend working that out. All right, so other than that, just fantastic work. So any questions at all, please let me know. Thanks very much.